Taliban enforces shocking ban. Girls over 10 years denied education. In a devastating blow to education and women's rights in Afghanistan, the Taliban has drawn a dark line in the sand, banning girls over the age of 10 from attending primary school in some provinces. This harrowing decree resonates with dismay and disbelief as it follows the group's previous suppressive edicts, including prohibiting older girls and women from attending schools and universities. A sixth grade girl from eastern Afghanistan, encapsulating the heartache and shattered dreams, told the BBC, "We were told that girls who are tall and over 10 years old are not allowed to enter the school." This latest restriction is not just another policy, but a crushing symbol of the extremist group's relentless drive to extinguish the aspirations and potentials of a generation of Afghan women. It's a stark reminder that the struggle for education and empowerment in the region is far from over, leaving the world to grapple with the haunting question: what future awaits these young girls? Um, so, yeah, based on the reporting that I've seen so far, this is something that is being implemented at a more local level, um, kind of in some specific provinces. I haven't seen reporting demonstrating that it's like a nationwide edict. Um, Following to what we usually talk about when we talk about the Taliban, meaning like there isn't one Taliban, right? There's a lot of variation and difference in different regions. Um, but I guess I wanted to talk about this because I just don't want people to not pay attention to what's happening in Afghanistan. I oftentimes feel very powerless. I mean, because then I guess in a sense we really are, but just our own powerlessness or inability to, I guess, be more direct in intervention or solutions doesn't mean that we should just not pay attention to what's happening to millions of people. You know what I mean? I don't know, Armin, what do you think?
Yeah, no, that's good that you bring this. Girls over 10 years old denied education. This is, again, I want you also people to understand this is basically the same cost that we talked about India. I don't know if people understand that the denying girls education basically the biggest one of the biggest resources countries have is not their minerals, it's not their oil, it's basically the human capital, it's the human investment in their people, right? And basically Afghanistan has decided to not invest in its most important resource, in half of it, in half the population, right? So so just like we were talking about India, all of this religious mumbo jumbo making it into education, the cost associated with that is bigger than even Hindu radicals going out and like going choppy on people, or that is even more harmful. Here in Afghanistan, like we think about Taliban being like killing and doing some torture and stuff, and this is actually more harmful. This is more harmful to Afghanistan than them like executing people sometimes for doing something. This action by Taliban kills more people than the direct act of violence that right now they're doing to some people under rule. Um, Imagine the years of progress that Afghanistan is going to be left behind because of half of the population not having access to education. The
Yeah, it's
economic
not
cost,
even
yeah.
it's that's a really good point because I kind of get a little bit frustrated when people are like, "Oh, this is such a waste of like this generation of young girls." But people need to realize that this affects not just like a single generation or only young girls. This
Right.
knocks down the nation at the knees across the board.
Yes.
Drastically changes the quality of life for everyone, regardless of
Yeah.
sex.
Years
Economically,
of delayed and yeah.
economically crippling yourself. This is way more than a lost generation.
Yeah.
Not that we shouldn't care about girls, obviously, but sometimes I want people to not reduce it to that. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Poverty. Here's how I'll simplify it like this. Okay, poverty kills. Education lifts the country out of poverty. Every year, every time education is being mixed with superstition, like in India, um, or being or people are not being educated, every single year, every even the slightest amount of that is reducing the economic progress a country can make, and therefore killing people. And there's no way to recover this, because even if you do recover this, your country is now years behind. And
Exactly.
even if you recover, you could have been more ahead if this had never happened. You can't. This is the damage that can't be undone. You could only reduce it by trying to get rid of it as fast as possible. And again, this is happening in a country where it needs this education the most right now. This is the way. This is the best way to lift people out of poverty is education. And in one of the poorest countries in the world, that tool is being taken away from people.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
I think, I don't know, it's really hard for me to, because you and Armin, both of us have like a really low tolerance for like suffering and misery. And I just, when I see stuff like this, I just think about the consequence of how much misery will come from this, and it's really hard for me to just like look on and feel like there's nothing that we can do. But what we can do is like talk about it, not forget about it, right? And try to lift
Right.
up people that are doing things to make changes in one way or another. So I know, for one example, there's the organization Idea Beyond Borders. And I know that Ideas Beyond Borders does work to help fund secret women's education in Afghanistan. So if that's something you guys are interested in, I would encourage you to look that up. And there's this quote that Lucifer, thank you for putting this in the live chat. This reminded me because I was trying to think of this quote, and you gave it to me. Thank you. He's saying, reminds me of the quote from Christopher Hitchens: the cure for poverty has a name. In fact, it's called the empowerment of women.
But
Statistically, we should know this to be true.
right. Just to be clear, this is not like uh women are more important than men kind of thing. Okay, this quote, because if for some reason men were not educated and women were, then the cure for poverty would be empowerment of men. Right, like basically the part that is missing, obviously that would be the part that if you work on, that would lift people out of poverty, right? So this is not something about inherent or something like that. It's just like women, given that half the population has been left behind in education and empowerment, that's exactly how undoing that is exactly how you bring a country, a society out of poverty. Yeah, good quote.
Abijanu wants to know what the Farsi on my wall says. Should I walk
Oh,
people through this?
yes, do that.
Okay. Okay.
Wait.
Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, this one says Azadi to Nafrush, and this one says Jumhuriye bi Khodayan. Okay?
Translate.
Okay.
Wait. Translate. You didn't translate.
So on top it says Azadi to Nafrush. That means don't sell your freedom. And then down here, Jumhuriye bi Khodayan, that means atheist republic or republic of the
Yes.
godless.
Atheist Republic is good. Yeah, that's good. That's pretty good. I like it.
Azadi to Nafrush is a
Okay.
line from my favorite Persian rap song.
Oh, I like that quote. Yeah, that's so
The
people.
song is so good. It's like Azadi to Nafrush, Azadi to Nafrush.
Okay.
Oh man, I want to start talking about this song now. The chorus is
Wait.
so good.
Okay. You rush when I'm talking about the news. You rush me through it, so we need to. Okay. All right, let's move on. Can we? I know people are enjoying you saying. Sorry, guy. I'm not going to be the evil guy who's not letting you express yourself. We could have an entire stream. By the way, people love when you talk about the things that you enjoy or things that you discovered. We could have a show, you just like ranting about things or just telling
I could have
things
like
you've
we could
discovered.
have a segment that we don't clip out. It's just me giving weekly suggestions or my reflections about life. The guy I was on a
Yeah.
date with yesterday was like, "You should have a podcast where you just talk about your reflections because you're very wise."
Can we have that? That would be
Yeah,
great.
sure.
I think
I
people
kind of
would
put that
enjoy
on my
that.
Instagram. I put my reflections about life on
Oh,
Instagram.
guys, check out Susie's Instagram. Link is in the description.